In this video, we will show the daily life of Ukrainian drone pilots on the front lines of the ongoing battle. The algorithm of Russian offensive actions is basically uniform but effective. They use armored vehicles equipped with electronic warfare systems on their roofs. To destroy such targets, specially configured drones on different radio frequencies or fiber optic drones are required. FPV drone operators from the 414th Separate Brigade of Unmanned Aircraft Systems, known as the Magyar Birds, showed off their skills in a spectacular video released by their commander. These aerial aces didn't just stop at destroying enemy equipment during a mechanized attack, they also took out immobilized vehicles. What a double whammy! The first assault column they targeted had two armored vehicles, likely MTLBs, that were supposed to be protected by a sophisticated multi-channel electronic warfare system and some serious anti-drone defenses. But the unexpected happened. The Magyar soldiers had a trick up their sleeve, using a non-standard frequency and low. As the vehicles drove across a vast field with pinpoint accuracy, the Ukrainian FPV drone targeted the front of the vehicles, shortly after which the Russian soldiers were seen fleeing, abandoning their disabled vehicles, and the Ukrainian drone operators managed to destroy both Russian armored vehicles. Now, let's talk tech. The armored vehicles were equipped with two types of electronic warfare systems. One of them may be the Groza system, the Bronya, which is known to jam multiple frequency bands at once. The second system? Well, that one remains a mystery for now. What we do know, however, is that the Magyars didn't just stop at armored vehicles. They also demonstrated the destruction of several other vehicles and even managed to damage a towed artillery unit. The Ukrainian Magyars proved that with the right tactics and a little creativity, even the most sophisticated electronic warfare systems can be defeated. Russian troops have faced a significant setback, losing armored vehicles in their attempt to capture Elizabetivka in the Donetsk region. In drone footage released by Ukraine's 117th Mechanized Brigade, we see a convoy of Russian armored vehicles advancing from the village of Vozdvizhenka, aiming to capture Elizabetivka. As Russian troops attempt to transport infantry closer to Ukrainian positions, they are met with a fierce ambush by Ukrainian FPV drones. The lead tank is heavily damaged but continues to advance, only to be attacked by another FPV drone that disables its tracks and ignites a fire. Chaos escalates as smoke fills the area, causing two other Russian armored vehicles to collide, engulfed in flames from the burning tank. One vehicle manages to break through the village but is quickly damaged by the relentless Ukrainian drones, forcing the Russian infantry to abandon their advance and seek shelter in a nearby building. The attack on Elizabetivka, however, is eventually repulsed, resulting in the loss of at least 10 enemy armored vehicles. After that, 9 other vehicles advanced from Vozdvizhenka, but were destroyed instantly, while others were hit by gunfire as they tried to retreat in a hurry, unable to escape the Ukrainian onslaught. On the Kursk front, Ukrainian airborne assault forces have successfully repelled Russian attacks. Ukrainian paratroopers, together with allied units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces, have repelled several attempts by Russian troops to attack the Kursk region. Russian troops have suffered significant losses, as reported by the airborne forces of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Despite continued efforts, the Russian military continues to push Ukrainian Defense Forces out of the Kursk region. Attacks on Ukrainian positions occur almost daily, with the enemy deploying infantry supported by armored vehicles. However, these Russian attacks appear to be aimless, as they send small groups to the front line without adequate support, making them easy targets for Ukrainian drones. Nevertheless, the resilience, courage, and military skills of Ukrainian paratroopers have destroyed several enemy assault groups. The recent repulsed attacks have resulted in heavy losses for Russia, both in personnel and armored vehicles. Russian infantry stormed Ukrainian positions in the Kursk region, but their efforts failed. In drone footage released by Ukraine's 61st Mechanized Brigade, we see a group of Russian troops attempting to penetrate Ukrainian defenses, with the goal of cutting off some of their troops from vital supply routes. As they moved toward a small village, Ukrainian drones quickly spotted them, allowing for precise mortar and FPV drone fire. The mortar attacks forced the Russian troops to take cover in abandoned buildings, but that's when Ukrainian troops unleashed a swarm of FPV drones. These drones made precise strikes, deftly navigating through open windows to deliver their payloads right inside the buildings where Russian troops were hiding. Eventually, Ukrainian infantry closed in for close-quarters combat, successfully repelling the attack and completely destroying the Russian forces in the area. Ukrainian defense forces managed to capture Russian troops during fierce street fighting in Toretsk. The units were deployed to clear a two-story building where enemy infantry had taken shelter. They arrived at the scene in Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and Senator MRAPs, with tanks ready to back them up. As they thoroughly searched each room, the military found Russian soldiers hiding in the basement. Of the 5 invaders, 4 were taken prisoner, while 1 tragically chose to commit suicide. Currently, the defense forces are engaged in active combat operations in Toretsk, where fierce fighting against the Russian invaders continues to rage. Recently, special forces from the Omega Special Operations Center of the National University of Ukraine cleared another building where Russian troops were entrenched. Since September 2024, the city's defense has been upheld by the Combined Regiment of the Lyut Combined Assault Brigade, demonstrating their unwavering commitment to reclaiming their territory. The Rapid Reaction Unit of the Border Commander's Office, known as RUBPAC Phoenix, showed off their prowess by destroying these enemy units. Their press service even shared a video of the operation. At the time of the destruction, the enemy equipment was already damaged and abandoned after a failed assault attempt. The first target that met its end at the hands of the Phoenix pilots was a T-62M tank. The tank had been blown up by a mine and lost its tracks on its right side, which probably prompted the Russian troops to abandon it. Interestingly, upon a quick inspection, the tank appeared intact and without serious damage. However, evacuating the equipment was not an easy task, especially in the gray zone where enemy drones made the process dangerous. In addition to the tank, 2 BTR-82A armored personnel carriers, which the enemy used to transport attack aircraft, were also burned during the fighting. Currently, the border troops of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine are engaged in fierce fighting alongside other units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces. They are not only holding their positions, but are also equipped with the latest weapons and receiving reinforcements to strengthen their efforts.